So I'm back to talk about, some people call these summer rolls, salad rolls. I really like them because they're fresh, they're not fried. There is a lot of mise en place that goes into this, but I really feel that it's all worthwhile. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work that we need to do. I have everything lined up here. On the side I have my julienne carrots, my chopped cilantro, my chopped cabbage, some green onions. I have some rice noodles or bean noodles. It depends on what you really like. And these are simple. They're just soaked in hot water for about 8 to 10 minutes, depends on the product that you're using. And then chilled. So running in cold water, chilling, and then just reserving them until you need to use them. I have my fish sauce and lime juice all ready to go. And again, with mise en place for this, if you're going to be cooking with us, it's really important that you have everything done. Of course, at home, you can, on this one, because you're not actually cooking anything, what I always do if I'm doing something like this is I'll actually set the product out, and as I'm cutting it, I'll move it, but I'll make sure I have everything there so I don't forget. And that's especially important with baking or anything. So it's kind of, you start on one side and you move it to the other side. You know when it's on that side, it's done. So you just don't want to forget that ingredient and make your these wonderful salad rolls and all of a sudden realize, oh, I forgot to put the carrots in there. So we're looking through the recipe, and the beautiful thing about the summer rolls though is you can put whatever you want in there. So I'm going to talk about the cutting of bean sprouts again. You want to make sure that we cut these. Everything has to be cut in these wrappers. They are very, I like to call them very finicky. These are the spring roll skins. They're very fragile. You need to set up a thing of hot water. I always say the water needs to be about 105 degrees, basically just like a hot tub. So if the water, if you put your hand in there and it feels too hot, but you can still keep your hand in there, it's about the right temperature. So having that set up ready to go, and then having these ready to go. And then these you want to do very last minute. So, and we'll talk more about that next week. So for our carrot, what I like to do is you can shred the carrot with basically just your regular shredder. If you have a mandolin, you can do the julienne. Way I was taught is I just cut really thin, long strips like this, as thin as I can get them. And then I lay those thin strips down, and then I do a really fine julienne. And it's really important to get these very small. So it may be better, it depends on your knife skills, to use a grater. The thing I don't like about a cheese grater that some people will use is that it actually pushes out a lot of moisture in the carrot. So it kind of starts to break down a little bit. But however, it does work out just fine. For your cabbage, there's a core right here. I usually cut it in pieces like this to remove that core. And then I'm going to take that, and then I'm just going to do, on this one, I'm going to do really small, very, very thin. The thinner you get this, the better. And part of the reason is these shells are so temperamental, and they're wonderful, but if something's too big, it's going to poke through. So it's really important to get this cabbage really small. For your bean sprouts, just a rough chop. They're soft enough that if you don't get them exactly the right size, you're going to be okay. We're going to take those and put those right into our bowl. Your green onions, we're going to definitely use the green part of the onions. And what I like to do is lay these down. These have been washed. And hold on to them, and then at a slight angle. And just chop these as fine as you can get them. Again, I've been doing this for a very long time, so understanding that it may be a little hard to get that small. If they end up being a little bit larger than that, that's okay. And we're going to cut just the green part for this dish. Your avocado is going to be a little bit trickier. This time of year, it's really hard pick a good avocado. You want to find one that's you can feel a little, you can push in and kind of feel a little softness, but you don't want big air bubbles in here. So with your avocado, you can prepare this a little ahead of time. However, very important. So I'm just going to spin this around. Pulls out, this is a beautiful avocado. If you cut this right as you need it, you do not need to do anything to it, put any kind of acid on it. However, if you cut it a little ahead of time, just wipe a little bit of lime juice on there, and you can have that done a little bit ahead of time. So I have my butter lettuce here too, and we're going to use this, make sure it's cleaned really well, and we're going to definitely use that for the summer rolls. And please return next week, and you can see how all these are put together. Thank you.